Any idea how
Okay.
many participants you will have?
We'll see. I think we have everyone on now. So welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Africa Therapist webinar. My name is Elaine Okeke Martin. I am the chair of initiative on the Global Wellness Institute, whose mission is to empower organizations by facilitating collaboration, providing global research and insight, triggering innovation, and advocating for growth and sustainability. Today, we're going to be discussing a very important topic, which is one of our pillars called the Africa Therapist. But before I go into that, I'd like to give you a background on the Africa Wellness Initiative at the Global Wellness Institute and what it aims to do. The initiative is to promote Africa wellness training and human resource development. We also aim with the Global Wellness Institute to build a database for wellness operators and practitioners with indigenous skills and Western skills and all types of skills for the African and global wellness industry. So we will help to record it and build that. You can get a lot more information on the Global Wellness Institute webpage. I would also like to bring to our audience listening in, and if you are a professional therapist, that you are now able to register at the Africa Therapist on our website at swaafrica.org. We will share that link with you now. Thank you very much. So, but before I go on, I think we have some background noise. If you're not speaking, I'll just ask you to mute your call. Thank you. Okay, so a bit about a brief of what this Africa Therapist is about. So as a therapist, you are sort of a broader umbrella as a professional who is trained and often licensed to provide a variety of treatments and rehabilitation for people. So Africa has a range of health practitioners or healers that may not have the standard Western certificates. But Africa also has therapists and practitioners that have standard Western certificates, such as beauticians, cosmetologists, yoga practitioners, nutritionists. So today we'll be finding out how they're handling COVID and staying professional and what the future of therapists is going to look like. So with that said, I have a set of speakers and experts in our industry from all over the world today, helping to launch this discussion on the African continent. And they are sitting in different parts of the world. We have both Africans in Australia, in Africa, in the Caribbean, in Kenya, Nairobi, and also Wilfred in Germany. So before I start, I would like to introduce each of our panelists and speaker. And I'd like to start by introducing Zainab Mohammed from Zymtopia Spa. Zainab Mohammed is a beauty therapist and CEO of Zymtopia Spa in Minna, Nigeria. She has trained at the Shanas Hossain International Beauty Academy in India. She runs a women's only spa and emphasis on herbal treatments and holistic practices. And before venturing in, she pursued a passion for skincare and beauty therapy. She also has a degree in business and communications and a master's in creative and cultural industries at London Metropolitan University, UK. And she has worked at Africa Independent Television, one of the biggest network stations in Nigeria. She also supports the Northern Hibiscus, which helps to develop new skills for women in Nigeria. Welcome to you, Zainab.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Good. And then I would like to introduce Wilfred Drachmann from Spa Project in Germany. Wilfred lived two very different lives, endowed with a diploma in social work from the renowned University of Düsseldorf. He started his first professional career working with homeless families in Germany. After several years in this field and moving up the ladder in public administration, he decided to change life and restart, becoming an esthetician, massage therapist, chiropodist, and makeup artist was odd for a man at the time. However, Wilfred made his way through all different stages of the spa and wellness business and knows this from bottom up. After many years working as spa manager and spa director in different countries such as Greece, Spain, Austria, Switzerland, and Germany, he opened up his own consultancy called Spa Project in 2006, and since is a highly sought after consultant and spa management coach across Europe. He is frequent lecturer at the IST Student Institute and associate professor at the IST University of Applied Sciences, teaching spa management. He co-chairs the Global Spa Consultancy Initiative, also on the Global Wellness Institute in New York. His consultancy firm, Spa Project, focuses on wellness providers that suffer from economic difficulties. So welcome to you, Wilfred. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Is Chiza Westcar. Chiza is a university qualified nutritionist and skin specialist. She began teaching in 2000 and imparts current nutrition and skin relevant information to medical practitioners, nurses, and skin therapists alike. Chiza has developed a reputation as extremely engaging, knowledgeable speaker with a real passion for all things skin and nutrition. In recent times, Chiza's focus has turned to clinical consultation with particular focus on the gut health and a strong belief that the health of the gut should be the starting point to restore health and wellness. Chiza's primary role to assist in finding the best solutions for concerned patients suffering from a number of growing health-related conditions, which include but not restricted to abdominal bloating and discomfort, lethargy, insomnia, skin-related conditions, stress-related disorders, anxiety, and low vitality. With a strong background in skin conditioning, Chiza consistently finds that she's able to link internal factors to the state of her patient's skin. Chiza also founded and runs the nutrition and skin-related online live courses through Nutritional Skincare Academy for the medical fraternity, nurses, and skin therapists alike. She has attained an international diploma in CIDESCO, iTech Honors, and SIPTAC. She also has a Bachelor of Business Studies degree, a Bachelor of Health Science, specializing in clinical dermal therapies, a master's degree in human nutrition, and advanced diploma in nutritional medicine. Welcome to you, Chiza. Thank you.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, and last but not least, we have got Steve Andrews. Steve is a 23-year veteran of the Caribbean spa industry. He now operates 3 spa locations in Barbados. He is also the former chair of the Caribbean Spa and Wellness Training Committee and helped organize the first regional training workshop for spa therapists in the Caribbean. He also advised national beauty training institutions in Barbados and has spoken at regional conferences on training and standards across the Caribbean. Steve's passion to develop the Caribbean as the world's leading spa destination earned him the post of chairperson of the Caribbean Spa and Wellness Association, CSWA. As a founding member, he lent the board expertise to the association, traveling around the world and looking at best practices for the Caribbean brand, and also co-managing $800 US CART Fund project with the Caribbean Export Agency to develop health and wellness in the Caribbean. Welcome, Steve. Lovely to have you here. Okay, so as mentioned, the Africa Wellness Initiative, through strengthening African wellness institutions, aims to promote training and human resource development. So I would like to just hand over to Wilfred, who will be giving us a presentation today regarding the future of therapists worldwide, and this also affects Africa. So Wilfred, I'd love you to just start sharing your screen, and I'll let you dive into it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elaine, for the introduction, and hello to everybody here from the Northern European part of Germany, which is rainy today and not so nice. So that makes me even more happy to be here on this webinar and share my thoughts of the future of our spa industry, and in particular, the future of our therapists. Let me share also my screen with you so that you can see the presentation. So you should now see my lovely picture without beard. In wintertime, I'm always wearing my winter fur, and this is a picture from summertime. Anyway, I said I want to speak about the future of our therapist because for me, this is one of the most important matters. And as we all say, staff is our most valuable resource. And well, if we are looking into our current situation, then we face just a mad situation. On the one side, we are closing down our businesses due to this funny virus, and people are without work. And on the other hand, there seems to be a huge demand actually on the side of our guests who want to go ahead with their lifestyle and with their daily routines, wellness routines. So we need to look a little bit ahead and prepare ourselves what is going to be next in our business. In order to do so, I asked myself 3 different questions. First of all, is there probably a touchless era ahead in our business? Second, if so, what kind of treatments are we going to offer? And third, whom do we need in the future? The answer to the first question, is there a touchless era ahead, is yes, no, yes. Don't worry, I'm not nuts, but actually the answer is not that easy. Looking on the side of the equipment manufacturers and operators, then the answer is yes, most probably there will be some touchless era ahead of us. Actually, manufacturers and operators are talking themselves into it because, well, manufacturers have a certain job. They need to be innovative. They need to bring new things, new machines on the market, and this is what they do. And the pictures you see here, this is Garrini equipment and a massage robot from Japan. To be honest, they are not totally new. They have been in development for the last couple of years. So it's not due to COVID-19 that we have now machines on the market that replace our therapists or that can replace our therapists. However, they are there, they are on the market, you can buy them, you can use them. And our spa operators often say, well, what is the most cost-intensive thing in my spa? It's staff. So can I find any way to replace therapists? I have been a spa manager myself for many years, and I know exactly what I'm talking about. I was looking to decrease my payroll always. It's a management task. So machinery is one possibility to do so. However, the answer is also no, because looking into the last couple of months here in Germany, where hotels and spas were allowed to open again and receive guests, what were the most required treatments? Manual treatments, classic treatments such like face treatments, massage, manicure, pedicure. People were booking whatever they can get. So actually, manual treatments, hands-on treatments, seems to be not just kind of nice to have, but obviously is a necessity, and people are willing to pay for it. So this gave me a certain impression on hands-on treatments will never stop. Whatever they tell me, whatever equipment manufacturers and spa managers think is going to happen, clients want to be touched. And I do understand that, because there are research and studies that if you want to be happy, you need to be at least touched 9 to 12 times a day. And especially in here in the Northern Hemisphere and Northern Europe, people are not touching each other too much. So there is a lack of physical touch to each other. And that seems to be one of the reasons why people go to spa and get a massage or get a face treatment or whatsoever. So the answer was yes and no. And you might remember that my answer was yes, no, yes. So there seems to be another yes why we should, or why we might have touchless treatments ahead of us. And that is due to the reason that mental wellness is on the rise. Just recently, the Global Wellness Institute published the numbers of the mental wellness market, which is tremendously high. And also we had a research in Germany 2 years ago already, where we showed, or where we found that 25% of the people we asked, and that was a number of 3,000 something spa visitors, 25% of them under the age of 40 said they would be interested or even very interested in receiving mental wellness treatments. And whatever mental wellness exactly means, one thing is very sure: mental wellness treatments will be touchless. So let's go to the next question. And that was, what kind of treatments are we going to have? And I can predict that very, very clearly, saying that all the classic spa treatments we know now, such as manicure, pedicure, massages, facial treatments, peelings, and so on and so on and so on, will be there in 5 years and 10 years time still. This is, like we say in Germany, it's our bread and butter business. So that's the classic spa. People want it, people need it, as we learned, and people are willing to pay for it. But there is also a tremendous need, or let's say tremendous demand, for sustainability in all aspects. And especially it will be a demand of sustainable spa treatments. And what that means? Well, for sure it means effective treatments. And all the therapists now listening, you know all the situation when the massage therapist, when you get a client into your room, your client comes in, shoulders up and stressed and tensed, and then you give a massage and shoulders go down, and you have a wonderfully relaxed client. And as soon as he leaves the spa and goes out into the normal world, shoulders up again and tensed. So we need to make sure in the future that our treatments are effective, really relaxing, really doing something, and long-lasting. And most probably, we will have a social responsibility with our treatments. And maybe our clients are asking us for really life-changing treatments. And to be honest, as a massage therapist and a beautician, a beauty treatment is not really life-changing. And I pride myself in being a good therapist. However, even my massages are not really life-changing, maybe with the exception of massage I give to my wife, but that's another story. So another thing, what we are expecting and what clients are expecting from us is really transformative treatments. So really treatments that do something which leaves us different than we came into the spa. And really holistic treatments. We are all talking about holistic treatments, but if you look at it, they are very rarely really holistic. So this is something we might change, we need to change, and we will change, because in the very near future, people will expect that when they're going into a spa. So last question, whom are we going to need? Well, if we have all these classic treatments, we will need all our classic staff. So we will need beauticians and massage therapists, maybe physiotherapists. We will also probably, if you don't have them yet, you will need practitioners, PhDs, working with traditional African medicine, or you have probably already healers who are working with energy medicine or whatsoever. We will, due to the demand for mental wellness, probably have psychologists on board or psychotherapists. When I introduced the idea of mental wellness 3 years ago in Germany, people were asking me, do you really think that we're going to hire a psychologist in our hotel? And I said, why not? Why the hell not? The problem is only that a psychologist doesn't know yet that he could also work in a spa, but there's no reason not to hire him. 20 years ago, if we told somebody 20 years ago that he would hire a beautician in a hotel, they would have said, you're nuts. Why should we? Well, today, this is just a regular thing. And I predict that in 10 years, maybe in 15 years' time, it will be one of the most normal things to have a psychologist or even a preacher in your spa as employee. We also need, this is a strong demand from our clients, nutritionists, personal trainers, yoga teachers in our spas that have, and that's the most important thing, that have really high social skills. There is no use for people who just perform a massage or just perform some fitness program whatsoever. We need people who have social skills, and that's the most important thing. And how to achieve that? Well, Steve, you will love me for that. It's training, training, or training. There is no other way. We need to develop our team. It's our team, our staff. And as far as I know, on the markets I am, there is not sufficient training so we could expect people to come ready in our spas. We need people who we can develop, and we will be the ones who will develop these therapists in order to perform what we're going to offer. Unfortunately, this will cost money and labor costs. This is a clear prediction. Labor costs will still rise, payrolls will go up, and all that what we are wanting costs money. But there's a good news. The good news is revenues will also go up, because if we offer, for example, mental wellness treatments, they are not going to cost the same like a facial treatment or like a massage. They are priced higher. So revenues will go up, and people are willing to pay a tremendous amount of money if we are able to actually give them a solution to their problems, because this is what they want. They don't want to come to a spa just to relax and to have a good time. They want to have a solution for their problems. And they expect us, the experts in spa and wellness, they expect us to give them, to offer solutions. So, well, this is going to be our job in the near future. So I hope, Elaine, you gave me 8 to 10 minutes. I hope I'm more or less in that time. And I'm happy to receive questions. either now and here, or if you want to write an email, I'll note it here, my email address and my web address, and you can get in touch with me whenever you like. So thank you very much. And Elaine, it's up to you again.
Thank you so much for that, Wilfred. That was amazing. I'm so happy that you presented it. And, you know, we've had this discussion before about, you know, the future of therapists and the importance of training and developing. And I do have a question for you here, Wilfred, before you go away. In regards to what you mentioned about training, because I know there are a lot of listeners in here today, when you're talking about developing the team, should this be the responsibility of the spa owners or institutions mainly? What is your take on that? You know, what can both companies and employers and institutions do to counteract the lack of therapists in the future also?
Well, I'm afraid this is going to be the job of the companies. We could say, well, we are an industry and there are schools and academies outside on the market, and their job, their business is to train and educate people. Actually, and this is true, and we have wonderful academies and schools and CDESCO trainings and all that. But at least to my knowledge or to what I see on the market is this is not sufficient. And we have therapists already on board. They are wonderful people and they are skilled in their specific job, but we need to further develop them. We need to go further with them. And that I don't see, at least not too many schools. I have some schools in Germany. I found some schools here who are doing a more holistic training and working also on social skills, but the broader view on the international market, there is very little training which prepares people to what we actually need. So unfortunately, this is why I said it will cost money, and it's our job to train our people. But there's a good thing. It develops people. And if you want to retain staff, you need to develop them. That's the only way.
Thank you. I agree. I think the future is definitely going to be weighing in on a lot of owners, as you said, in training, and that's just going to need more investments. Just hold on before, you know, I'm going to come back to you, Wilfred, because there's so much here. There's so many questions. And, you know, I'm so happy to have our speakers here today, because I'll start with you, Chiza. You are a nutritionist. Now, as you saw on the presentation, nutrition and nutritionist is the future as well. Now, how long does it take to become a nutritionist, Chiza? Can you just give our listeners and people maybe on the African continent who are thinking about this an idea of what it takes?
Sure. Well, I guess it really depends on what country we're talking about. I'm in Australia. Our courses usually take about 3 years, 3 to 4 years. I know in the UK about the same, in the States about the same as well. But that's for a degree course, so a bachelor's course, a Bachelor of Nutrition or a Bachelor of Dietetics. There are, though, short courses that can be done. Health coaching is a huge, very, very popular avenue of entering into the field of nutrition. So to become a health coach basically can take as little as a year, say, maybe even shorter than that still. The reason why I added nutrition to my qualifications was because I recognized a long time ago that to look at inflammatory skin conditions and not delve a little bit deeper into the client's lifestyle and perhaps diet to maybe try and find the answers was, as far as I'm concerned, the missing link in our industry. And so I did my course, my first course, which was my master's. I did a master's degree after doing a Bachelor of Health Sciences in Clinical Dermal Therapies. Because I had my bachelor, I was able to do a master's in nutrition. And I've got to say, it left me a little bit disappointed because it did not really cover the holistic approach that I was looking for. It looked at disease states. It looked at obesity and the causes of obesity and type 2 diabetes. But I wanted to learn more about the link that the gut has to skin health. And I found that when I did my advanced diploma in nutritional medicine. So to answer your question, there are a lot of different paths that a person can take, depending on how much time they have. What I've found is that a lot of therapists are not necessarily that keen to put their work aside to start studying full time. And that's really why I created the Nutritional Skincare Academy, because I run short courses for skin therapists that are relevant to what their interests are or what they need to know without them having to invest years of study. Does that answer your question in a roundabout way?
Yeah, definitely. I think there are lots of people listening in, and, you know, with online technology taking, you know, over, and people having time at home to, you know, study, I think that's a good way to start them off. I mean, with the short courses, it might then trigger other areas, because
it does do that. Yeah.
And I just wanted to say, in regards to the opportunities that, you know, as a dynamic professional yourself, and as this continues to evolve, what areas can the African nutrition therapists focus on?
Well, I honestly feel, I mean, I quite enjoyed listening to Wilfred talking about mental health. I actually Googled the definition of wellness, and if I can just quickly read it, wellness is the act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental health outcomes, so that instead of just surviving, you're thriving. And what is at the base of that is gut health. Gut health informs mental health. Gut health informs skin health. So what I feel is, the same way that a therapist asks lifestyle questions to a patient or client who comes in and maybe looks at their stress levels and then tries to manage their stress levels through massage, we ask about stress. We need to ask about nutrition. We need to have more than a passing understanding of nutrition. We are in charge of the largest organ of the body. The skin is the largest organ. If nutrition impacts the skin, why are we not being taught that? I did Sedesco, I did ITEC. Nutrition was covered on a very generic level, but not as it impacts skin health. So I would say the same way that US therapists, British therapists, European therapists, Australian, New Zealand therapists are starting to incorporate nutrition into the consultation process, we need to also get African therapists on board with that.
I think that's a very important point. I'm a Sedesco as well, and I remember having nutrition. It did trigger the interest into going deeper into nutrition studies. However, maybe not enough, but, you know, you do get the idea. And I do like, you know, with what Wilfred has just shown here, and what we're going to need for the mental health, I definitely believe nutrition is key. But also in regards to when we talk about sustainability and the SDG goals, because you can't be well if you're also hungry and poor, so, or not getting the right nutrition. So I think our African therapists need to understand what areas they can cover, and also how do you say, give information with the right foods that, you know, they can eat, because there is a lot of plants and African plants that we covered also in the other initiative here at the Global Wellness Institute. And so, okay, so I will come back to you, Chiza. There are lots of, I can see there are questions coming in. So let me just get to Zainab Mohammed. You know, you're a beautician and a cosmetologist yourself, and I know there are people listening in who are in this area as well, which Wilfred also pointed out. Now, how important is it to get formal training before opening a spa, or actually working in a spa like you've done? And what are the various job opportunities available in that industry right now? And what do you see coming in the future?
Well, I think it is very important to have formal training. Like Chiza mentioned, I would give a personal example. Where I studied in India, we were actually taught Ayurveda, Indian herbal medicine. And the reason why I really loved the course was because it incorporated both internal and external treatments. So we were actually taught about, let's say, for example, a client comes with you that has acne. So you don't just look at the surface. You also have to look deep into, okay, what do they eat? What is their diet like? How much water do they drink? You know, those kind of things. So I think the course was, it gave me both perspectives. It really went deep into both internal and external practices. Now, how important is it to have a formal training? It is extremely important because I think a lot of people need to be aware that being a beauty therapist is not just about giving facials or a massage. You also need to learn about the skin biology. You need to learn about the skin's physiology, the chemistry, and the anatomy of the skin. Now, so that is like basically like the science part of it. So without a formal training, you wouldn't really get an in-depth knowledge about how to treat the skin. You also need to learn about like spa management, budgeting, finance, and all of that when you want to open the spa. So it's not just, apart from like the beauty aspect, you also need to learn, I think, about the business aspect of it, which is why also like going to an accredited school is very important. Because when you go and get like a formal sort of training, I think those places where you can get like accredited training like ITech and Cedesco, they give you a more, how should I say, they give you a more formal outline of what you need to study. Now, the course I did was a bit of a fast track study, which took about over a year, but I realized I needed to upskill with the new technologies that are coming out. So I think as a therapist, apart from going to like a formal training, you need to be abreast, be aware of the new technologies that are being not invented, that are being brought out into the market. So hydrodermabrasion, microneedling, dermaplaning, carbon laser treatment, those kind of things. So if that is not covered in like maybe your course, it is something that you can always go and just like add on, do like an add-on skills, which will be something that is very important and needed for like your clients. I would also say another job opportunities that are available is not just being an esthetician or a nail technician. There are some people that would want to go via academia, maybe like go to like university to learn about cosmetology. Now, if let's say, for example, you're interested in chemistry, you can actually go and learn about chemistry and how learn something that is more in tune with like skincare. So you can have somebody that maybe if you're interested in beauty and you're interested in making like the halal nail polish that is available now. It was developed by a chemist, so he used like his chemist background, his science background to develop the skincare. So I think there are lots of job opportunities available in the beauty industry. Both, and also like Wilfred said about psychology, I think it is definitely something that it's needed in the skincare industry. We also have that relationship, let's say, for example, between you and like your hairdresser. You always feel like, your hairdresser knows you. And I think it's to do with maybe when somebody's touching your hair, it relaxes you and you sort of start to divulge information about your life to your hairdresser. Now, imagine if like that hairdresser has like a wellness or a mental wellness certificate or has a background in psychology. They would actually be able to help you in your day-to-day life. So I think it's definitely something that is that should be looked into.
I definitely love that idea. I would love my hairdresser to have all the psychology.
All hairdressers are psychologists. They are already.
Already, exactly. Thank you so much for that, Zainab. I just wanted to ask you one more thing, Zainab, while I have you. What are some of the challenging aspects of the beauty therapy for African therapists? I mean, you've mentioned opportunities and ideas, but what are their challenges right now?
I think the challenges are more getting training from reputable companies, from reputable schools. For example, I'll give an example for like Nigeria. I don't think it's that common. It's not as easy to go and get like a formal training in a beauty therapy school. We have one or two available, but it's not as widely available as in other countries. But I think with the COVID-19 situation, it has made it more easy. It made it easier because a lot of these schools have started doing online training. So which has made, I think it has made it more global. It has made it easier to get like formal training. So I think what's the word? I think, yeah, that's the challenge with African therapists, getting a more formal training and getting somewhere to actually go and, go and learn these skills. So I think it's sort of getting better nowadays with maybe online training. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that addition. I just want to come over to Steve. Steve, so, you have obviously run an association in the Caribbean. You are a therapist yourself, and you do it from a more technical side of it. I'm so happy to have you on today. I just wanted to ask you, why is massage therapy, for example, so important to future therapists around Africa? I mean, we've heard from Wilfred's presentation that, yes, no, and touch, and but it's still a yes. What is your thought on that? If you just unmute, that would be, yeah. If you just unmute your mic. We can't hear you, Steve. If you unmute your mic, yeah. Okay, while you're unmuting, I'll let you. Okay, so we'll take some questions, maybe from Lena, who's here and has some questions from the audience while Steve is unmuting. Lena, could you just give us some of the questions? Thank you.
Yes, there's one question from Maida Lemu, and they say, don't you think that concept of a psychologist or a mental therapist readily available in hotels and spas to be counterproductive? I think it might reduce people's trust in therapy. If it's very commonly available, people might think it's an unnecessary service. Any of the panelists would like to comment on that?
So I would love to, if I may.
Good. Go ahead, Wilfred. Because
this is the most common question I always receive. As soon as I start talking about mental wellness, people are asking this question, which is absolutely okay. But we have to make one thing clear. Talking about mental wellness does not mean that we are talking about mentally ill people. We are not going to be a hospital or a clinic serving mentally ill people. But just to give you an impression on the numbers, and this is a number for the German market, 27% of Germans have a diagnosed depression. Whether this is much or not, we don't know. However, this is 27% diagnosed by a doctor. Now imagine how many people are suffering from a lighter depression, which is not necessarily treated or diagnosed by any doctor. They still feel unhappy, feel that they should need some help, talk to somebody, and yeah, maybe get some mental help. And recently, it's about 3 years ago that I started to study a new thing, which is hypnotherapy. So working as a hypnotherapist, I'm already on a, they say advanced level. However, I'm already working with that. So how many people do I meet who need or who think they need some hypnosis treatment? This could be performed in a spa. There is no need to go to doctor. Yes, you need a hypnotherapist, a trained hypnotherapist, of course, but I could work in a spa. And this is something which everybody, you listeners, could use it if you want to perform better, if you want to de-stress, if you want to focus more on whatever, if you have anything in your life which you want to achieve and you didn't achieve yet, well, you could do that with mental wellness treatments. So it's the same with physiotherapists, for example. When we started to hire physiotherapists in spas, hoteliers asked me, if I have a physiotherapist, are all these disabled people in a wheelchair coming? And I said, no, don't worry. It's about people who feel a back pain or whatsoever, and then they think, in my holidays, during my stay in a nice hotel, I could treat that. I could receive whatever treatment to ease my pain. And that's what's all about. So no worries. If you offer wellness treatments, mental wellness treatments, you are still going to have normal guests like you and me.
Thank you so much for that, Wilfred. I hope that's answered Maida Lemu's question. Thank you. So we'll go back to Steve. Steve, okay, your mic is off. Thank you so much. So I'll repeat the question to Steve, which was, why is massage therapy so important to future therapists around Africa? Steve?
Well, I was sitting here really just embracing everything that everyone's saying. And I think that the challenge that we have in is that we do something and we just don't understand the powers that we carry in our hands. Massage therapy is one of the most powerful tools that we can and will use in the future. The world is now going through one of the most devastating times ever in our lifetime. All the things that really affecting most of the persons that is dying, what we call underlying medical issues, and the challenge that we're going to have in the future, as Wilfred said, is more and more persons will be coming to us talking or looking for wellness, well-being itself. When we think about massage therapy and the tools, I mean, you heard these things about mental wellness, and if you really understand, there are two topics. There one that is someone that does massages, people that just go through a routine, they will go along a style and they will go through routines, and then you have what we call therapists. Therapist is someone that understands the holistic approach to therapy. Just last week or this week, I had a client, and I worked on her. For an hour, but then she started having this conversation with me, and there is someone that knows spilled her whole life or challenges that she was having in her life within an hour with me. And at the end of the day, she said, Steve, I really do enjoy massage, but this was so much better because I have the opportunity to really express myself to you. So really and truly, we practice mental health as well as therapists. But my challenge is that we now need to understand or develop the tools that we will need to go forward. So the world, we are going through a crisis where one of the most powerful tools that we had in life, which is touch, people cannot be touched no more. No, people social distance, physical distance. When we reopened in June this year, July this year, there was so much of my customers that I have not seen in years. And the thing that they're saying, I'm so looking forward for a good massage. I'm so looking forward for, so the whole idea of touch in the future is something that is not going to leave us. Touch is really a sunrise industry. It's not something that is going to run away in the near future. The challenge that we have is that the persons that are doing the routine, we need to provide kind of training that they need to really take them to a level that we can have conversations. It's the same thing that you can, when someone comes to you and they're having a treatment, I do a whole lot more than massage therapy. Massage therapy is just one of my tools. I do many things. I'm a spa operator. I run spas. I do all of that. I'm also the leading therapist in my organization. So we have real conversation. So you can develop the ability to listen to persons without actually give advice. Sometimes that's all people need. People need the ability to be able to express themselves, what they're feeling, how they're feeling, and be able to just let it go. If they're in a comfortable environment, you get that. So my thing is that we need to work with therapists on the ground, the therapist that is in the market right now, and find creative ways of how we can develop their training. That's why I developed the masterclass in massage therapy, because I think this is something that's lacking in our industry. We have a tremendous powerful tool that we are really not using, which is touch. I mean, if I give you example of things I see in my short life through touch, it will blow your mind. It have tremendous powers. We just have to understand what we are doing. And we have to remove ourselves, because most people, when I started 23 years ago, the issue was I was a martial artist, and I was practicing, and I went and get a massage, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I want to learn more. But now we are in it for the money. And it's so much about the money that we forget about the healing component, how we can really change lives. So someone spoke earlier about what life-changing impact. I have life-changing impact every single day in my practices. Every single day I have life-changing impact. It's basically understanding through the powers of touch. It heals not just your physical component, your spiritual, your emotional, your mental component. Through touch, we just have to understand what we are doing. So the future or the importance of therapists in Africa is it should not be a question. Is what the world needs. The world becomes so selfish now that husband and wife do not touch each other, do not spend attention to each other. So now what they do, they come to the spa because that's a part of the healing component. The world, we become so selfish now, everything is a selfie. So this is where we come in. We have to understand our role. And to me, the future of therapists is awesome. But you have to decide, do you want to be a therapist or you just want to follow the sequence and rub up people? This is where we are. So
Fantastic.
to me, that's where we really are.
No, awesome. I mean, Steve, this is amazing. I mean, I think you've hit a topic here, which a lot of people are sitting, especially therapists out there, especially our African continent, and the therapists who have been through and are going through the COVID and not being able to do what they're trained for. And also our clients not being able to get that touch, which makes them happy, as Wilfred also mentioned. And I do agree with you on most powerful tool, of course. But in regards to the development of further training on this level that you're talking about, which is the masterclass therapy training, I think that's really key. I believe to our listeners who are looking to further develop the African treatments, I think it would be very interesting, Steve, that maybe they get that technical side of it on how to further develop it. I mean, you've done that in the Caribbean now, and I know that we'll be hosting you here at our partner SWA, and we will be having those courses starting next year. But I just wanted to go to Wilfred here. Massage therapy, most powerful tool moving forward. Wilfred, do you agree with Steve, and how would you advise therapists now moving forward in 2021?
I really couldn't agree more. Massage or touching people is one of the most powerful instruments we have to really have an impact on other people's life. When I said that in my presentation that massages are not life-changing is due to my experience. I received a lot of treatments in my life, and a lot of massages and facial treatments. And most of them were, sorry to say, but they are not worth the money, because people are, and again, Steve, I couldn't agree more with you, people are about earning money. They are not really like healers and taking the job seriously. They're doing massages, which is okay, because at the end of the day, our therapists need to make money. It's not that they are doing that as kind of a social work. It's they need to live on that. And this is why most of the people I have met in this industry are working. However, if we could use this healing power which is within us and transmit that to our clients, and if even on top of that, if we could train our therapists to do so, that would be absolutely mind-blowing. Imagine what we could achieve if we would have 100% healing hands in our spas. That would be just amazing. And we can also go a step forward and say manual therapy, so touching people, is powerful, but as well is education in, like Chisa would say, in gut health. Give people the knowledge how to change their lifestyle. That's really powerful.
Thank you so much, Wilfred. I definitely agree. You know, manual therapy, the healing power within us, and you know, it's not all about earning money, but at the same time it is. So making sure that you package your delivery in that sense is important. But I also think that obviously this year with the COVID has hit a lot of therapists, and I think that these will be this is definitely a discussion that many will take to heart and think of what more can I do to develop my skills and take it that step further. Chisa, do we have any questions? I just want to go to the audience here. Lena?
Yes, we do. Patrick is asking, because today most of the therapists deliver treatments, tomorrow the therapist should deliver wellness more than treatments, especially due to the growing importance of mental wellness and social interaction. Don't you think that beyond the training, the organization and content of the SPA team may change with new profiles to better understand, personalize, and deliver the key for a sustainable wellness? And this was to Wilfred.
This was to okay, Wilfred, that's for you. Did you get that?
Well, hi, Patrick. First of all, nice to see you here. You're absolutely right. It will change our profile in general. It will, if we are now in general a spa which provides relaxation, which provides a nice place to be. This is what most people are doing in their advertising, the place to be. It will be much more of that in the future, and we will see places transforming from a regular spa with a hot tub and pool and massage cabins to a place where they really go in, transform into something within a couple of days. So it's not just rush in, rush out in the future anymore, but it will be go in, learn something, relax, do something, and learn again, and discuss, and speak with people, share your ideas, and go out and really be changed, be somebody new. And that will change also our therapists and the whole setting of a spa.
Can I really respond?
Yeah, Steve,
well?
Go ahead, Steve.
I think that yes, we have to be careful in terms of when we speak about the expansion of spas, because always remember that there are different, and there are so much taboos around what we might call mental health. And we are trying to break down those kind of concepts. But we have to understand what are the kind of spas that we operate in. There are different concepts of spas. There are medical spas, there are wellness spas, there are beauty spas. So the category that you're fitting in will really decide what are the tools or what are the instruments that you're going to use within the spa itself. So I remember when I was in CISWA chairing, and we had this discussion, do you want to, because people are very, because people, when they come to spas, they're looking for, it's like a happiness they're looking for. So people don't want to know they're coming to a spa and they feel like, or they're going somewhere they are sick, or they're not well, or all of those things. Really, so we have to be careful in terms of the management of how we're gonna categorize the spa concept that we are putting ourselves in. Yes, there are room for all the things that we are talking about, but is the categories that we're gonna have to be careful on, or the labels we put on spas. Because when people come in, to me, when someone comes into a spa, is where they are trying to free the spirit, where they are trying to then empty themselves, where they are trying to find ways of. So if we like for instance, someone come to a spa and you fill in out a consultation form. If you put so much information you're trying to get from that consultation form, sometimes they say you're being too intrusive in my business. I don't really want to share all that information. So we have to be careful in the term of labeling of the spas when we are talking about spas. So we don't want to put too much barriers on therapists or too much owner on therapists, but we want to separate. And so, as Patrick, we're not going to have every therapist as healing because it takes a special therapist or special person to get to that component of the healing. Because it's not normal head, it goes to the heart. Healing comes from the heart, not from the head. So if you don't have the ability to transfer it from the head to the heart, you will be just going through sequences. So it will take special. But if you can help the ones that have the ability to develop the healing component, then you can get there. So basically, I agree with what Patrick is saying, but we have to be careful in terms of labeling that we don't find ourselves creating medical facilities and spas and what they're supposed to be.
I would like, if I may, Elaine, I would like to add something.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right, Steve. I see in the future, I see different spas, as well as we all see or all know different kinds of restaurants. And there will be spas focusing on mental health. There will be spas focusing on manual therapies. There will be spas focusing on gut health. There will be spas focusing on whatsoever. It's all a question of economics. If there is a demand, you can open a spa with a certain focus. It's like, again, like in restaurant business. If there is a demand for an Italian restaurant, you can open that. But in this Italian restaurant, you won't get Chinese food. So there will be a variety of different offerings. And this makes it also difficult and challenging for operators, because you have to, as Zainab told in the beginning, you have to make clear for yourself, what kind of business do you want to offer? And then find people who can work for you.
Can I jump in?
Absolutely. Yes, please go ahead. Go ahead, Chiza.
I was just going to add that you may open up a business with maybe a particular focus in mind, but then as the business grows, it can evolve. So in Australia, for example, we've got spas here that just started out as a general spa offering spa type treatments. And now they've moved into a more holistic approach where they now have nutrition incorporated into that. That's not how they started. But as they evolve, they also take note of their clients' needs. And so I think a holistic approach is the way of the future, where nutrition, I mean, in your talk, Wilfred, you mentioned nutrition as a component, and you mentioned, maybe psychotherapy or psychologist, and you had all of these different parts. But I think when we look at the consultation form, we ask questions that help us understand their stress levels, for example. So I think that adding nutrition-related questions in there will give a better idea of, you know, what is leading or what is causing the set of concerns that a client has. I agree that we can have different types of spas, but I also think that you can start off with one concept and have it evolve. You know, where
Thank you
you then
so much. And with that, I just need to, because there is a question here from the audience, I'll just take that from you, Lena, from Frank Fanelecki. And this is also in regards to this topic concept. She says, I'd like to know if you feel that this concept would benefit mobile spas or traveling professional therapists. If so, what do we do, or would it be similar to spas on a premises? So can she do massage therapy? Can she do, nutrition on the move?
I think she can. If she has all of those skills, then absolutely. I used to have a mobile business where I did massage and I did manicures, pedicures, etc. I mean, I've evolved since then, and I now have nutrition. But where I work as a nutritionist, I work as a dermal clinician. So I do nutrition consults separately. I incorporate nutrition consults into my skin consult. So if she upskills and, sort of gets those qualifications, absolutely she can do that on a mobile basis, for sure.
Okay, and then we have more questions. We have one from Denzel Phillips. Hi, Denzel. We know you very well. He says, greetings, everyone from Denzel. And his question is, there's a great deal of discussion about mindfulness therapy, at least in Europe. How do you see mindfulness fit into the spa and wellness arena? Obviously, yes. Who would like to take that one?
Can I jump in?
Sure, go ahead, Chiza.
Just quickly. Mindfulness is where it's at. It's in Australia, mindfulness is a big focal point. And in mindfulness, we're looking at, there are so many meditation apps that you can get. There are mindfulness apps as well. So I think it is sort of involved, or it's incorporated in that holistic approach that I talked about. Mm-hmm. A holistic approach means that, yes, you do massage. You look at the state of their skin, you recommend products, but you also have to look at what the causes are that have gotten them to where they are. They come in very, very stressed. We have to try and identify what those causes of stress are. It can be diet, it can be lifestyle. A lot of the people that I see, they're finding it very hard to juggle work and home life. Mm-hmm. They're not taking time out for themselves. So self-care is a big component of mindfulness. And unless they take time out for themselves to try and find something that they can focus on, that they love to do, it's very hard to achieve mindfulness if they're not going to practice self-care.
Right. Thank you so much. We have, and thank you for that amazing answer. Lena, do we have any more, please? Thank you. We have a lot of questions, I think.
Yes, we do. We do. There's somebody who's, let me see, who was asking about communication. Let's see on the chat. Oh yeah, there's somebody who was talking about when sometimes you present yourself with a CV that says you're Reiki certified, that is Josephine Wairimu. And then you have done science in medical, in a medical institution, and you have years of experience as a facialist and massage therapist. You're too overqualified to be hired. I guess that's a challenge. Anyone would like to take that?
Okay, I think Josephine is asking that she says, I think embracing an appreciation of healing hands in our African continent is something far from being met. So that is actually why we're having this conversation for the first time today. Thank you, Josephine, for also engaging here. Does anyone want to take on this? I mean, when they present a CV, here in Africa, then, they're overqualified maybe, or not hired. And at the same time, we are not appreciating healing hands of the African continent. So how do we embrace the healing hands of the continent, Wilfred?
I think this is more a question for maybe Zainab or Steve.
Yeah, I will be happy to take that. I think, as Wilfred mentioned, maybe I would say, as a spa owner, I think it's because, first of all, you start thinking about money. You start thinking, okay, can I afford to pay this person?
Yes.
This person is a bit qualified. How can I afford to pay this person? How can I, and if I even hired the person, would I be able to keep the person on and afford their services? It's not like you don't want the services or you don't think their skills are good enough. It's because you're probably thinking more financial. Now, I think a lot of these skills were not really that appreciated in Africa, but I think more and more they are being appreciated, especially because, like I'd say, social media, the internet, a lot of people are becoming more aware of what is out there and the skills and therapies that are out there, and they also want to experience it. So I think it is a question of not only finding somewhere, I think it's also, you just have to meet each other halfway. Are you willing to come a bit lower? Maybe maybe like have a discussion with if you go to meet, like you go to the company and you have the CV and they see all your qualifications, maybe they are just making an assumption on what they think you want to be paid. But if you come into an understanding, I think dialogue is the most important thing. If you have an in-depth discussion with maybe the owner and let them know, not just about your skills. I mean, you also need to earn money. So I think maybe finance is the most important thing that the company was looking at. But these skills are definitely more and more important and more appreciated nowadays. So he needs to just keep trying. There's definitely a place out there for him.
And
or tailor your CV.
Yeah, I was about to say tailor your tailor your CV, the concept. Steve, go ahead.
I think there are two issues there because as a business person, I don't really hire CVs. I usually hire your ability to do the work because I see so much people with so much CVs and they're really lost. I think they spend so much time getting the CVs and not really focusing on the practice itself. So I really do not focus on CVs. But beyond that, I think that each business will have a structure in terms of payment. If you're looking for a job and I have a job and I don't care what experience you're bringing into me, you will come basically based on what I'm offering you. It might be with time, we can look at it. If I think you're adding value to my business with time, I can look at ways of how we can actually take it to another level in terms of payment. But to me, it should not be a problem if you have the qualification and you're trying to apply for a job. The job that I'm offering have to have some kind of structure in terms of what I'm going to pay, what I pay like in Barbados, I pay my salary, I pay my staff, and I have structures. So when you come in and you spend time and I think that you added value to my business, then we can have another discussion. So I don't know why the challenge. I think the challenge with a lot of people when they have strong CV, they usually come to the door beating my chest. Look at my qualification. I need to get this job. I think this job. So a lot of it, you have to also look at yourself as well and see what is your approach in terms of engaging employers when you, not because of your qualification, but you have to start looking at your abilities and what are the values that you can add to the business that you're running.
Absolutely, and hence the future of the many different types of concepts and spas that we'll be looking at, and that way people can tailor make their CVs to that specific company, and that way I think also getting like Chiza mentioned early on, being skilled constantly is really key, and not letting go, and having some online courses. Does anyone want to say? I think I heard someone say something.
Yes, I was saying there's a question on skills still from Celeste Peters. Listening skills and supporting therapists to develop better social skills and develop confidence is needed. Therapists have a technical skill. They have technical skills, but sometimes miss these simple skills of communication because their confidence is lacking. Do we have the possibility to support therapists with this kind of training?
Okay, I think
May
that's
I
the one
answer that?
for Wilfred. Yes, go ahead.
You don't have the possibility, you have the need. It's your job. And yes, that's one of the most challenging things. I mean, if we would look into any industry and in let's say the automotive industry, that's quite easy. If we find somebody who can work in our company, he is most probably ready and skilled and knows everything which he has to do. However, we need to train him on our specific machines. Okay, fine. But we don't need to train him in social skills properly. In our business, in the spa business, we need to train people in communication, in all social skills there are. And that's the wonderful thing for me, because this gives me, as a business owner, this gives me the chance to actually develop somebody who's coming in and maybe he is lacking self-confidence. Okay. So that's wonderful for me because I can bring him to wherever he wants to go or wherever I want him to go. So yes, you have the chance and the possibility and the task.
Can I also respond?
Please go ahead.
I think that the challenge, and we also have to look at personality. And one of the things I found in my years of practice, there are two kinds. The introvert tend to be better therapists than the extrovert because it's something I found. So when someone is introvert, they tend to, everything is in their head and they're trying to, so they become better therapists. What you have to do is work with them and build and give them the knowledge that they need to build their confidence that they can be able to express oneself. And I, most of the good therapists I found are the ones that it's very difficult to have conversation with them. So sometimes you have to really pull it out of them. So it's really about confidence boosting. You will take them, you will build their confidence, and then with time, when that start coming out, you start building a very holistic therapist itself, because the physical skills or the natural skills is there, but it's really about getting them to shine, to knowing, yes, you're good. Yes, you have the ability to, yes, yes, yes. And there's a lot of self-building or self-motivation you have to do in terms of building those therapists to really shine. And not plug in my class, but this is one of the things, and because of all of these things, that's why I decided I want to do a master class, because I see how can I get the best out of therapists. It's about pulling the best out of individuals, allowing every person to be the best that they can be. So it's about understanding personalities and working with personalities to really get the best out of them. And someone spoke earlier about listening. And I always said in my job, I have 5 minutes to understand the person when they walk through my door, because I need to try to figure out as much about them before I take them into my room. So it's about understanding the person. So it's like you look at their personality, you look at the way they walk, they look at their confidence level, you look at all of those things to really assess a client in like 5 minutes, because they might have 5 minutes with you from the waiting room to the massage room or to the therapy room. So it's about understanding. So this is how we develop holistic therapists. It's not hiding them in the back, but helping them to all understand, share knowledge with them. How do you understand that when you start working on that person, you have a basic understanding? So listening, watching, learning is very important when you're talking about therapy.
Thank you so much, Steve. Basic understanding. I love that. And if you guys want, if you're listening, you're a therapist out there and you want to gain and learn this confidence, and we will be having Steve going through the masterclass for our members. So if you are a member of SWA, please do sign up. You can see that on our calendar. Okay, so I'd like to give everyone a minute just to give you know, therapists and owners listening out there your 1 minute take on what you see happening in the spa and wellness industry going forward for the future. As I've mentioned, this is just the first introduction of the Africa Therapist pillar, so we will have more discussions coming up and hopefully invite institutions as well for the next round of discussion on this topic. So I'd like to give each and every one of you a minute. I'd like to start with you, Zainab. Maybe you can give everyone listening in just your minute take on the future. Thank you.
I think personally, like for example, in Africa, we have so many diverse cultures, and from that we have a lot of traditional therapy treatments that our ancestors have been using. And now I think it's trying to find a way to merge our culture and modern treatments. So I think for Africa, that is going to be one of our that will be something that will make us original in trying to merge our cultural aspects, paying homage to our culture with modern treatments. For example, I think like Moroccan hammams. Like everyone has like heard about like, oh, when you go to a Moroccan hammam, the traditional Moroccan baths, and it has become like more wide known. So it's something that is traditional to Morocco. So I think each country in Africa has something unique about their culture that that is to do with beauty therapy. And I think one of the ways we can make our own beauty therapists shine is finding a way to merge those traditional aspects, those traditional cultural aspects with modern technology.
Thank you so much.
That's all I'm going to say.
No, that was amazing. And yes, we'll definitely be talking about that. We've actually touched on something, but we've encouraged the continent to develop more of their African traditional treatments, but I do appreciate
it's definitely something. It's definitely something that I try to incorporate at the spa, because we have a lot of like traditional aspects in our culture. So it's merging that with modern treatments. It's a thing that would make your spa like stand out. So I think it's definitely something to look.
It'll be great to hear more from the northern part of Nigeria, where you have these beautiful rituals as well. Okay, so I'd like to go to Chiza. Chiza, would you like to give your 1 minute on your take? Thank you. Oh, you're on mute, Chiza.
Sorry. I'm going to come at it from a nutritional perspective. I'm a skin therapist, I'm a nutritionist, and I really feel that nutrition is the missing link. I think that developing a holistic approach where we don't just look at the person on the outside, but we actually look at what's going on internally. And I think that a way that we can really start to tap into what's going on the inside is to incorporate nutrition-related questions in the consultation form. But before we can incorporate nutrition-related questions, I think that therapists would need to maybe have some courses that they can attend where they can be told, shown how important the internal aspect is to our overall health and to skin health. I keep going back to the gut, but when I think of gut health and the communication between gut and skin, it's basic. It's at the very core of glowing, healthy skin. So yes, I think as I look into the future, I look at nutrition becoming a big part of the skin therapist's repertoire.
Thank you so much, Chiza. And we look forward, and we are still in discussions about having Chiza as well through the Continental Association and her courses being provided there. So we hope to get that to you as well in 2021. Okay, I'll go to you, Steve. Steve, would you like to say anything to Africa and what you know, what is to come looking forward?
Oh, I like the concept of the traditional healing practices. That's one of the things I really, really wanted to get done in the Caribbean, because I think that our foreparents have developed lots of powerful tools. Like in the Caribbean, what we have something that we call a Muru massage, and it's really using herbs and different to treat the body. So they look at the body in a very holistic way. So really and truly, yes, traditional healing practice with modern techniques, I think that's the future, because more and more people are looking for that. But I also think that there are tremendous future for the wellness industry. As I said to one of my colleagues in Asia, that we sit in a position where we have tremendous opportunities, tremendous opportunities. It's up to us where we take it. Do we stay and do the same thing that we are doing all the time, or we find ways of how we can make it better? How do we take it to another level? How do we find the tools and the knowledge and all of those things that we need to really maximize the opportunity? The world is looking for wellness. And from experience, after we reopen, so much people come into me and they're saying, we just don't want a rub down. We want good service. We want quality service. We want the knowledge. So it's really about expanding your mind. So it's up to each and every one of us. Do we want to be a sunrise, to be a part of this fantastic industry, or we want to be a sunset, where we just doing a thing, 5-6 years, we're out of the industry? So we really need to find the knowledge. And my passion is, I keep saying to everyone, not bringing in myself, I think I've done it all in this industry. I live a comfortable life, but it's not good enough for me just to live a comfortable life. I want to help everyone to live a comfortable life by teaching you, by sharing the knowledge I have with you. It's like a cup that is full. We have to empty it. And really, that's my vision. And my vision is to really help Africa, because I'm a descendant of Africa, to really develop their skills.
Yes, you are. Thank you, Steve. And we look forward to that. And thank you so much for really engaging in the educational part of it. And we look really forward to that. And I'm sure others will agree here, like Chiza, who also are trainers in the industry. And this is all what it's about, looking, and the world is looking for wellness, you know, like also Wilfred mentioned at the beginning of his presentation. So Wilfred, over to you, your minute.
Thank you very much. Well, it's difficult to add anything, but one thing maybe. We're living in really challenging times. And I very well remember my time as a therapist. And I know that there are many therapists out there now who are actually suffering because they don't earn money due to the fact that spas are closed and hotels are closed and so on, so they can't work. And however, I see this challenge and I feel you guys, but please remember that the spa and wellness industry is the most beautiful industry in the world, and touching people is the most beautiful thing we can have. It's powerful, it's beautiful, and I would like to encourage all you guys out there, stay with the industry and develop yourself, learn whatever you can learn, and apply for jobs and do what you can. There is a bright future ahead in our industry.
Thank you so much for that, Wilfred. That was very, very inspirational. Thank you, all of you, and you know, for giving us and everyone listening, all of our African therapists, the hope to keep going, and that the future is bright, and that there is a lot of things that we can do to get skilled, to tailor make our CVs, to be responsible, and get more technical support, and increase our salaries by communicating with owners as well. Thank you so much. This has been an amazing conversation, and there's still questions out there, but we are out of time. I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I want to encourage you all to tune in again, as we have more of the pillars here at the Africa Wellness Initiative on the Global Wellness Institute. If you need more information, and if you are a practitioner, a therapist, in any domain, please feel free to log on to this link that we've shared with you and which we will send out to you, and become part of this data which we can showcase to the world, so that people can find you, because we're trying to get people to be able to find all of you and to know where to contact you. As you know, Africa hasn't had a database before, so this is part of it. And I just want to thank our beautiful speakers today from all over the world, from the Caribbean to Australia to Germany, Europe, Africa. Thank you guys. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you.
Thank you
Have a
very
lovely
much.
day. Okay, bye.
Thanks. Bye.